So hello everybody. We have some people here in. Oh, we've got one other person who's just shown up. I'm just gonna mute there. Beautiful. Welcome to. We're slowly working our way through the Ogham here, and today, according to Yuri Leitch's Ogham Grove, we are. Today is the first day of the days of Hazel or COLL. I'm very, very happy, very happy to report that I now do have office space. Has it really been since the last time we met? I think maybe it has. Anyways, now I have office space, and slowly boxes are being taken over there, and slowly things are being revealed. So I actually found my Peter, can you see that? Peter Prakaunik Ogham, the Celtic Oracle. I think it's gone out of print, but if you can get a copy of it, I love it so much. So we'll show you that this is the image of COLL or Hazel from the Voice of the Trees. I always forget if it's voice or voices, but it is the Voice of the Trees. It's a little blurry, isn't it? With the salmon. And then this is the image from the Prakaunik. Again, you can see a salmon leaping there as well in the crane. So we're going to be connecting with Hazel and starting with the poem from the Celtic Tree Calendar poem cycle by Beryl Bagant or Bagant. So I'm going to invite you to just close your eyes and start to focus within. I'm going to read the poem and also share the image. So this is a line of Hazel. So picture yourself in that pathway, the avenue of Hazel. Focus on your breath and drop into that inner space. And this is the poem that starts with a bit of a poem from William Blake. Hazel, call bard. Oh, hear the voice of the bard, who present, past, and future sees, whose ears have heard the holy word that walked among the ancient trees. And that's William Blake. And the rest of the poem goes on. First, you practiced standing like a tree. Then you festooned your sentences between branches, clinging words becoming leaves, and your rhythms, drumsticks, made from a sacred hazel bough. Now, years later, flowers and fruit emerge concurrently, and you are cherished as a triple trinity of muses, dwelling beside the Hippocrene spring of D. And under this moon of wisdom in the dog days of summer, you ready the produce of your creativity, consuming a sweet nut triad of inspiration and concentrated women's knowledge. The winged messenger within you grants the boon of green time, enough to breathe, with dandelion clocks to companion in slow supported steps, passing generations, inducing once again a new awakening. Now you thrive in teleconsciousness, a fully fledged summer tree, absorbing all you need: wind and rain, mold and sun, dawn and twilight, son and daughter. Then you give yourself to seed the world. You are the walking cane for aging ones, and small children caper in the resonance of your groves. Learn speech, nibble kernels of justice, build dream castles in Paradise Field. Even your ancestors convene the wisdom, wearing their wishing caps to weather the storms, as they coast in wicker coracles and capture the king of the river in magical nets of their own design. And even now, as proof of pattern at wedding feasts and celebrations, guests eat salmon, that eat the filberts, that cascade from your branches in rhythms and words and poems in these calendared woods. Breathe into all the words that weave the energies of Hazel, and open yourself to your own journey. Slowly bring your awareness back to your breath. And as you become aware of the movement of your breath in and out of your body, just take a last moment to connect with COLL, with Hazel, to be open to any final messages or insights. Excuse me. And you can thank Hazel for the journey. And slowly, slowly start to bring yourself back to the here and now, back to the place in which you sit. The room where you are. When you're ready, take a deep breath. Open up your eyes. So, let me just close this. I remembered partway through that, where have I got this on? Just do this. Yeah, so I remembered partway through that one of the, I was so excited about this, one of the decks which I found in one of the boxes is this one. It's the Faces of Woman's Spirit, a Celtic Oracle of Avalon. Does anyone can see that there? Again, I don't know if this is still in print, but it's by Catherine Torres. And so look at this image of Hazel. There's a green dragon and looks like Caradwin there with her cauldron in the doorway. So I was very excited to find this one again. I love this this deck. So I'll just share a little bit and then invite sharing, and then I'll close the recording. And everybody else could go. Oh no, there was one other thing that I wanted to show as well, because of course there's this, the Celtic Lunar Zodiac, and this one is by Helena Patterson. Where is the imagery in here is so beautiful, and similar imagery. So if you can see there, it's the same themes again and again, where you have the water and the salmon and the crane. So all of that, of course, speaks to the energy of Hazel. So there is that association with the salmon being is it Connla's well, with the 9 hazels that are around the stream, and dropping the hazelnuts into the water, eaten by the salmon, who developed spots on his skin for each of the 9 nuts. And this sense that, you know, the hazelnut is the container of the wisdom. So the hazel trees have the access to the wisdom that is contained in the nut, which is dropped in the water, which is eaten by the salmon, which then can be passed to us. And there was a reference to that in the poem as well. So there is a sense of Hazel as being opening us to that information, inspiration, creativity, all that is wise and profound that moves through us and is carried out into the world. I found in the meditation that I had that it was this, there's an association with the 9 maidens, and I think I'd posted, was it? Oh, it was a different thing, a different reference to the 9 maidens. Anyways, it wasn't a Hazel thing. But I just kept seeing, and in the poem it talked about the trinity of, was it the trinity of maidens? And a trinity of trinity. And so I saw, you know, the land, sea, and sky of and the land of land, and the land of sea, and the land of sky, and the sea of land, and the sea of sea, and the sea of sky. So the 9 maidens took on the energies of the elements and sort of reflected. So the hazels, each of the hazels had a different energy that was connecting with the elements and drawing that wisdom down in its own way. So that's what was coming up for me, and then that image of them, you know, lining an avenue, and as you walk along that avenue, you're picking up all of those reflections and wisdom. So, Laurie, how was that for you? You've been working very directly with Hazel this morning.
Yeah, I sure have. I just love these meditations, Tiffany. Thank you for doing them. It's been a little while, and I talk to the trees on a regular basis, but I don't just kind of sit and contemplate with the trees for a longer period. I mostly chit chat with one or two, and instead of thinking about an entire species. And I've planted a bunch of them here. I planted one down by the river based on the notion of them dropping their nuts into the river, and that one's struggling. It does not like it down there. And the ones I've planted up here on high ground, I think American hazels are different than UK hazels, because ours want to sit up on high ground. They want to be by water. They want to see water, but they do not want to be right next to it. They're in the birch family, and the birch family is all really fussy about how much water they have on their roots. And so anyway, so it's kind of, so I think the squirrels have to grab the nuts and throw them in the river for the salmon here. I'm sure someone's doing it, you know, it's not me, but they're definitely wise trees. Well, as I get closer to nature, which is always my goal, is there's a stand of them over by a maple tree that's been one of my guides for a long time. And for the longest time, I thought they were alder. Well, alder are also in the birch family, but then last spring, out come these fluffy, dainty, ruffly nuts. And I'm like, oh, you're a hazel. And the hazel kind of said, well, idiot, yeah. You know, I've always been a hazel. It's just you're getting a little bit wiser as you relax and let go of all the things that aren't necessary. Anyway, so there is a wisdom to hazel, is what I'm saying in a really roundabout way. And so I was hooking into that, and I've been fussing. The people right across the road here decided to plow up a pasture and plant corn and soybeans and stuff like that in it, which I'm not happy about. And I offered to buy the land, and they would say, no, they're not going to sell it to me. So I asked the hazels who are planted right along the road across from this field, if I should, you know, really double down and make an effort at this. And in this meditation, they said, nah, you know, just be happy with where you are. We're going to get to be big trees, big shrubs that'll protect that are going to just enclose this space. And it kind of goes along with all of the little oaks growing and things like that I was talking about earlier, because all the work I've done over the last 10 years, the trees are just coming up, and there's such abundance this spring. It's just amazing. I counted the foodstuffs of the different kinds of fruits and berries and nuts that I've planted in the woods, and there were 42 species that are abundant here for people and critters. And that doesn't count my vegetable garden. So the hazels are wise on that one, and there's a few of them that didn't make it over the winter because we had a really deep snow winter. So in those places, I just found I had some chokeberries and elderberries that need homes, and so we'll put them there, and they'll be fine. So anyway, it was sort of helped me sort of, I do think for me, the point of wisdom is being happy where I am and satisfied and, delighting in what is, rather than reaching for the next thing, which is what this field has been kind of about. And so I'm kind of settling into being very happy and content with where I am. So that's my wisdom for the day.
It almost speaks, as you were talking, I was thinking it's almost like the serenity prayer, which is, God's grant me the courage or the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. It's almost like Hazel's like, yeah, we got this.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
So
well, yeah, and then there's so many things you can make out of hazel, and you can coppice them, and the coracles were woven out of them. I was thinking I could make some, weave some things. Anyway, so once everybody gets going, everything is going to be fine. So in 5 years, it's just not worth worrying about, and there's plenty to keep me busy between now and then. So when we're done with this, I'll go finish pulling off the white pine branches off the tops of them and plant those elders. So anyway, it was great. It's always awesome. Nice to chat with Hazel. They're a happy tree.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you for that sharing. And I'm going to end the recording part of it with this is a poem from Bathing in the Fae's Breath by the Woodland Bard. And so this is his poem to Call the Hazel. Call the Hazel. In a wise diviner's hand, the forked hazel stretched apart, feeling, sensing what's beneath our vibrant land. Sensing living waters, carving an alignment chart of its flow from the divine earthly heart. Hazel wand tracing the thread of the veil, guiding the diviner's trust as it casts its spell. We pass slowly, silently through this Dara veil, trusting, anticipating this old ways miracle, finding that point where the living waters become a well. Hazel is of a mercurial spirit, a wise sprite, bringer of insight. Flashes of inspiration invites us to discover many things. Entering into the dreaming within the forest, a hazel tree sang to me, touched me with its fragrant fingers, stroking my dream, calming my dream, closing the wounds of blood that had clouded my dream. Breathing air touched by the hazel, charged with quicksilver energy, charging me with exhilaration and inspiration. Hazel charged my spirit to pulsate, a catalyst, a transformer, a bard to relate, ways to crack any situation like cracking a hazelnut shell to feed from its nourishment inside. Pure nourishment, pure goodness, pure knowledge in a nutshell. All of the ways of wisdom we can pass on. I was now the diviner. I had discovered my source of language, poetry, and music, of course. Mystics say anyone born under the sign of the hazel must never hoard their treasure. Its nuts, the fruit of knowledge, must be shared for learning and for pleasure. So with that, I will thank all of you who are joining us in Zoom land, and may we see you under the trees in the sacred grove another time. So bye for now.